What is this life full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. And that's just what I was doing, sitting in this lovely churchyard. I had my ordnance survey map with me, and glancing at the area around Auldearn, I spotted this, dead wood, or as it's known locally, dead man's wood. And looking up from my seat, I could see the wood in the distance, and there was obviously a story to be told. I'm here in the village of Auldearn, near Nairn in the Scottish Highlands, and behind me is the site of the Battle of Auldearn, which took place on the 9th of May 1645 between Royalists and Scottish Covenanters. Now, to put this into context, I really need to explain the background to this battle. About 350 years ago, religious conflict and civil war erupted in the kingdoms of the British Isles. Now, in Scotland, people rejected the attempt by Charles I to force the Protestant Church to conform to English rules, which included the adoption of the Common Prayer Book. He declared that opposition to the new liturgy would be treason. Not only did the king believe that God wished him to be the infallible ruler of the kingdom, he also believed that he was the spiritual head of the Church of Scotland. And this latter belief could not be accepted by the Scots. No man, not even a king, could be the spiritual head of their church. Only Jesus Christ could be the spiritual head of a Christian church. And simply stated, the Scots who were opposed to these rules signed the National Covenant in 1638 and became known as Covenanters. A generation later, the Covenanters were still fighting for the beliefs, and many would die for their faith. And this period of history is often referred to as the killing times. Royalist troops rode across the country hunting down suspected Covenanters and killing them on the spot. Now, to get back to this battle that took place here. The details of the battle are very well documented, but suffice it to say that the Royalists, who had about 1,500 troops, won against a much superior Covenanting force of around 4,000. History records that the Royalists suffered negligible casualties, while the Covenanters lost about 1,500 men. Now, the question is, what happened to all those casualties? And where were they buried? Nobody actually knows what happened to all those casualties, but I think we can draw a few conclusions, especially from the name of the wood we're about to visit, dead wood. So you see behind me now, dead wood. Local tradition has it that after the battle, the remains of those soldiers that were killed were gathered up, and not knowing where else to put them, there was a handy dip, a depression in the ground behind me there. The remains were placed in that place and basically forgotten about. Over time, trees were planted and they're growing today. Now, we're not going to know if the local tradition is true or not until at some point the trees are felled and perhaps the roots are dug up. There's been lots of archaeological finds on the battle site, buttons and other paraphernalia that you would expect to find after a battle. So perhaps at some point in the future, dead wood will give up its secrets